Welcome to my Periscope. You're looking at my friend Bishop Leroy Snow. Bishop Leroy Snow. I'm going to talk about him in marketing. It's not what you think. I've got a story I've got to tell you that's going to be very, very powerful and compelling for your marketing, and it has to do with this individual right here, Bishop Leroy Snow. Again, this is JackLater, and I'm a top internet marketer. I've ranked in the top 10 of 3 different internet marketing systems, and this is competing among tens of thousands of different affiliates. Welcome you to my newest Periscope. I do these Periscopes every single day at, I have to take that back. This week, not every single day. Actually, almost every day at 10 a.m. I do Periscopes at 10 a.m. on internet marketing training and teaching people how to get leads, how to become top earners, and how to make sales in their company, whatever company it happens to be in. And want to welcome first my replay viewers who happen to be checking in on this. Feel free to comment and share. Want to welcome here. I probably messed this up, but welcome Devin. And anyway, I do a Periscope marketing training on Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday at 10 o'clock. I'm not able to do them on the other 2 days of the week. So I'm not going to be doing, I'm probably not going to be doing a Periscope tomorrow at 10. I'm going to try. Don't know if that's going to happen or not. But anyway, I want to talk about this individual right here at marketing. This was a very successful individual. Again, his name is Mr. Leroy Snow. He was, actually, I should say Bishop Leroy Snow. And he's a bishop, or was a bishop before he was murdered. He was a bishop in the Mormon Church back in the 50s and 60s and 70s. A bishop in the Mormon Church is equivalent to a pastor in most other churches. And the amazing thing is that he was a non-paid minister. And he had a business. He was a businessman. He owned a nursery. And I got to tell you his story. His story is very compelling. And let me switch view. Hey guys. Anyway, let's get me back in the saddle here. Anyway, got a really neat, compelling story for you that I want to share. Let me get my phone adjusted here just right. So anyway, going to talk about the murder. It was a sad day. The murder of Bishop Leroy Snow. Now, what does this have to do about marketing? It has everything to do about marketing, 100%. And I want you to apply what I'm going to teach you right now about Bishop Leroy Snow and his business, and his kindness, his generosity, and how he was able to give to the community. And as a result of the way that he gave, he was also, he gave in a lot of different ways, but as far as his business was concerned, he was able to give in a way that made him a pretty wealthy man. And I want to talk about Leroy Snow and his story. Now, what happened is that one day I got a call from my father, who really admired Bishop Leroy Snow, and you'll find out why here in a second. But I got a call from my father, and he said, "Did you know what happened to Bishop Snow?" And I says, "Well, no, I don't know what happened." He says, "Bishop Snow was murdered in his home." And he said that evidently an intruder came into his home looking for stuff to steal, I guess. And they found out later on that it was actually a worker of his, somebody that he had hired, probably a gardener or somebody like that, an employee of his. And I think it was a gardener at his own home. Anyway, it was an employee that came into his home, knew that he had money, and came into his home to try to rob him. And if I remember the story right, the robber was startled when Bishop Leroy Snow came home, and when he was startled, Bishop Snow was killed and murdered. And it was really sad because this man was a pillar of the community, awesome individual, great business leader, great ecclesiastical leader. Obviously, he was a bishop, equivalent of a pastor in his church, a large congregation. And one thing you want to keep in mind is he was a non-paid minister for many, many years. Probably as close as I could calculate, around 30 years he was a non-paid minister. Now that sounds kind of unbelievable, but in the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, they have lay leadership. But I want to talk about Bishop Snow here and what this has to do with business and how can, what I want to do is this. That this man's life had a huge impact in my life, and the way that, not only the way that he led his life, but the way that he was successful in business was also very inspiring to me. The way that he led his life personally actually had the greatest impact on me, and secondarily, one marketing technique that he used in his business also had an impact in my own business. So I want to share that with you, because what he did in his business is exactly what we need to do on the internet. And it's one simple trick, and you probably already know what it is, but it's one simple trick that you could do to make a huge impact and gain a following in your internet marketing business, in your brick and mortar business, in your network marketing business. I don't care what it is. It could be your dog grooming business. It could be your affiliate digital product business. It could be, you name it. What he did is exactly what we need to be doing. Now let me tell you why. Let me just tell you his story right now, okay? And I hope that it'll touch your heart. I hope it'll make a big impact on you. When I was really young, when I was probably about 7 or 8, my parents have a large family. There's 7 of us all together. I was number 5. We moved from Las Vegas, Nevada to Charlottesville, Virginia, because we really loved the area. We loved Charlottesville, and my dad wanted to set up a business there. He had the ability to move just about anywhere he wanted and still do business. And even though we didn't have hardly any money at all, my dad, he was at that time he was kind of a traveling salesman. And as we moved back east, he would sell a product. Excuse me here. But anyway, we made it back to Virginia from Las Vegas, and we really had very little or almost no money. And so what my dad did is, when we arrived in the town of Charlottesville, and incidentally, Charlottesville is where the University of Virginia is located, and also the home of Thomas Jefferson and Monticello. Anyway, we arrived to Charlottesville, and the first thing that my dad did was he contacted the Mormon church there, and he called the bishop in the local ecclesiastical congregation. The bishop, like I said, is equivalent to a pastor in most churches and lay leadership. But anyway, he called the bishop, and Leroy Snow answered the phone with the deep southern accent that Bishop Snow had, and he said, Bishop, I just moved in from Las Vegas. I've moved into Charlottesville, and I'm looking for a house. I don't have a house. We're looking for a house to rent. And Bishop Leroy Snow, even though he had a full-time, very busy business, and he was almost a full-time minister too, probably put in, I would imagine, 20 to 30 hours a week as a minister in our church. Even though he was that busy, Leroy Snow found a way, somehow made a way to help us find a home to rent in Charlottesville, Virginia. And we were very fortunate because Leroy Snow had connections, and he knew who to talk to. He knew he had been there probably all of his life, or nearly all of his life. And he knew a lot of people in business, knew a lot of people in real estate. And somehow he found, I don't know how he did it, but he found us a really nice home for very little rent in Charlottesville, Virginia, in the county, in the outlying areas, Albemarle County of Virginia. And the house that we lived in was way above our means, really, at that time. I think my dad said that this was like in 1967, I think, 66, 67. And at that time, he only had to pay about $125 a month in rent, if you believe it or not. And even at that time, that was super cheap. Now today, that same home, the home is called Longwood. It had a pond in the back. It had 200 acres of land, and I'm not making this up. It also had horse pastures and a horse barn. And today they've actually developed that into an even nicer, more posh property. It's probably a multi-million-dollar property now. But at that time, we even felt lucky. And one of the reasons why we were able to get that home was because of Bishop Leroy Snow and his connections. I believe, if I remember right, the owner of the home was an executive, one of the top executives in the Singer Sewing Machine Company. And he just wanted to have somebody there that would take care of the home. He wasn't that concerned about, making a lot of money in rent. He just wanted the home well taken care of. And my mother could do that. My mother was phenomenal in taking care of her home. She was a very meticulous housekeeper, and everything had to be clean and in order. And I believe that's probably the main reason why they rented to us. And it was a neat place to live in. But anyway, Bishop Leroy Snow took the time to take care of a family who was really in need, seriously in need. And as I go through this story, there's some hidden lessons here about life, obviously, but also about business. And I'm hoping that you can see through some of the see between the lines in this story that's very compelling about the murder of Bishop Leroy Snow. Now, another thing that Bishop Leroy Snow did is even though he had a large congregation to serve for, he went out of his way to get to know every single family in that family or in that congregation that he could. And I don't know if he was able to get around to every single family or not. I think he probably did, because in those days it was more common for the ministers to get to know every single family and visit them in their home. And so Bishop Snow would visit us pretty frequently in our home, especially around Christmas time. And what I thought was really touching is that even though Bishop Snow was very busy at Christmas time and at other times, he would come and visit us. Maybe he would give us, some wisdom. And sometimes he would give us a lesson. And I remember at Christmas time particularly, our family was struggling financially when I was young. My father and mom was struggling to just barely make ends meet. And even though we were having a tough time, what was kind of neat is that when Bishop Snow came over, he gave each of us a little card, a special, it was at Christmas time, gave us a special Christmas card, and in the Christmas card was a $5 bill for every single one of us kids, all 7 of us. And, I don't know to what extent he knew that we were having a hard time financially. As a bishop of our congregation, he also has the responsibility to watch over the poor. And the people in his congregation who were struggling financially, it was his responsibility to actually seek those people out and provide welfare if needed. I don't know if we received welfare at that time, but he obviously knew that we were struggling financially. and which is one of the reasons why he provided that $5 gift for each one of us kids during Christmas. And $5 doesn't buy a whole lot today, but it bought a little bit more back then, obviously in the late '60s. And I always thought that was really neat, a bishop doesn't have to do that. That came out of his own money. That did not come out of the parishioners' fund or the church money. This came from his own pocket. Of course, he was able to do that because he was a very successful businessman. But he was very well respected, very honest individual, honest in his affairs, honest in his business affairs, honest with his parishioners, and a business ethic that is so sorely needed today. And now I want to share with you one other thing about Bishop Leroy Snow. And Bishop Leroy Snow never, he's the type of person who never wanted personal accolades, but he attracted people big time. He attracted people in his congregation, he attracted people in business, and he attracted people in his community to the extent that when he was murdered in, I believe it was the mid-1990s, if I remember right, I remember seeing a full-page newspaper article in the Charlottesville newspaper on Bishop Leroy Snow and what happened in the investigation and his contribution and everything about Leroy Snow, and also several years later there was a 2 or 3 page article in the magazine that's created and published by the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. It's called the Ensign. That Ensign goes out to about 14 million members. And this was and this 2 or 3 page article was all about Bishop Leroy Snow and the Snow family, and the huge contribution that they made to their community and to our church. Now, I want to share with you, because this was such a significant individual in my life and in the lives of thousands of people, maybe even tens of thousands or more, I want to share with you, as far as a business is concerned, his ethics was impeccable. His kindness was impeccable. His way of giving was unquestionable. And he did one thing that really made a huge difference in his business, okay? In addition to just his character alone, his impeccable character, the one thing that he did in his business that I know that if you implement, okay, if you sincerely believe this in the bottom of your heart, it's going to make a huge, huge difference in your business. But it's not going to happen overnight. It's going to happen over a career, okay? Well, most of us want to have the get-rich-quick idea. What I'm going to tell you right now is what I believe made Leroy Snow. What he did is he owned, like I said, a nursery. He was an expert gardener. He knew how to landscape and all of the things necessary for trees and shrubs and flowers and all that stuff. Okay, so what he did for many, many years, I don't remember how many years, my guess it was probably his entire career or most of his career, probably 30 or 40 years, I would imagine. What he did is he had a show, okay? He had a radio show, and he would go on the radio at, I believe it was about 8 in the morning. I think it was every day, if I remember right. I might be wrong about that. It might have been every other day. But it was Leroy Snow's gardening show. And he didn't sit there and pitch his business. What he did is he focused on problems. He focused on people. He focused on why the listeners in that radio station were listening at 8 a.m. in the morning. So his show was maybe one day he would talk about how to plant azaleas. The next day he would talk about the challenges with weeding. Another day he might talk about the most effective ways of fertilizing. Another day he might talk about pruning roses. Another day he might talk about how to take care of your trees. Another day he might talk about how to plant effective orange grove or an apple orchard. Another day he might talk about how to the kinds of grasses to be planting in the valley of the Albemarle County of Virginia. So every day was a different topic, different tip. Every day was an idea or two that people could glean from gardening. And of course, he was the owner of his Snow's Nursery in Charlottesville, Virginia. And of course, he put himself, he became an expert in his field. I'm sure it didn't happen overnight, but he became a master gardener and a master person that, nursery owner. Not only was he just trying to sell a bunch of stuff on, at his nursery, but he was providing value for people. Now, he became an expert in every single area of a nursery that a person possibly could. Every area of gardening that a person needed to become an expert at. And as he learned daily his craft, he would share what he learned to his listeners on the radio for 30, I would imagine, like I said, 30 or 40 years, as far as I know, his entire career. And as a result, he was a very well-to-do man, and very well respected. I don't think he had much of an education. If I remember right, he also did real estate deals, and he didn't even have a real estate license. But yet, what he did is he would get options on a piece of property, and then exercise that option at a fair price, but at a bargain price if he could. But be that as it may, he was a self-learner. Okay, he did everything he could to learn his craft and share what he learned. And think about this for a minute. The stuff that he's sharing, his competitors are listening carefully at. So he's kind of teaching his competitors how to be successful in the nursery business while he's doing this radio show. Now, as you think back in this little story here, I want you to think about some of the takeaways. If you got some takeaways here, leave a bunch of hearts, tap on the screen, and let me know if this was valuable to you. Now, excuse me. So what are the takeaways? Honesty, integrity, giving, becoming a master at your craft, sharing what you learn. Now, in the case of Leroy Snow, like I said, he had a radio show that taught people and solved problems. Excuse me. Well, can't we do that on the internet right now? Wouldn't it be awesome if we could just kind of forget about pitching our stuff and focus more on providing value? If you're let's say a dog trainer, wouldn't it be awesome if you could teach as many people as you can about all of the challenges that people face with training their dog? If you're trying to sell internet marketing, digital products, educational products, wouldn't it be cool if you could learn from the products yourself, become a product of the product, and have the moral authority to talk about those products, and at the same time teach what you learn? And as a result, like my friend, Bishop Leroy Snow, who was murdered, you gain a huge following, as he did. How many people, and this is what is amazing. This marketing modality that Bishop Snow used wasn't new. And it's not new now. It's not new to the internet. Invest, Learn, Teach is not new. I like that term, incidentally, that I've learned from my friend Ray Higdon and Mike Hobbs and others. But it's not a new marketing method. It's been tried, true, and proven. Just like I'm doing right now, giving you value right now, teaching you, one marketing method, actually several marketing methods here that will gain a following for you. Give people what they need. Help them out. When a person is new on the internet, in marketing on the internet, there's a gut feeling that they need to, maybe a knee-jerk reaction is what I should say, of just pitch, pitch, pitch. That's not going to work on the internet. You've got to provide value. Now, incidentally, if you want to get, excuse me, I'm losing my voice here a little bit. If you want to get a ton of value like this and become an expert at internet marketing, network marketing, how to get leads online, how to do video marketing, blog marketing, email marketing, just go to workwithjacklater.com. Check out, type in whatever you need to in the search bar. Maybe you're curious about how to market on Periscope. Type in Periscope marketing. Now, I'm brand new at Periscope marketing. I'm more expert in other areas like YouTube, particularly YouTube, and blog marketing. But type in blog marketing. Type in video marketing when you get there. And while you're there, check out my 8-step checklist and video walkthrough. Put your wallet away. You don't need it. Check out my 8-step checklist and video walkthrough to 30 to 50 leads per day. You'll see a link for it on the first page that you come to at workwithjacklater.com. What I've done is I have a checklist. It's a PDF. You just check off the boxes as you go. And then you also have 2 videos that will take you over my shoulder, and I'm going to show you exactly what I do to get leads. And in fact, I made sales yesterday. I make sales, every week in this business, sometimes every day. Just yesterday, I think I made a $125 sale. I've sold nearly $100,000 so far. So anyway, top 10 of 3 different systems, competing among tens of thousands. So go to workwithjacklater.com, get some additional training on there, and be sure to be on this webinar, this Periscope, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday for more marketing tips and ideas and tricks, internet marketing. I want you to hit the top of your particular company or system or whatever you're doing online. My vision right now, my vision is to help 500 people hit $4,000 a month or more in their internet marketing business, whatever business it is. The reason why I picked that number is because when I hit $4,300 my 3rd month, it made all the difference in the world for me. I started making $4,000 and $5,000 consistently. By my 11th month, I hit $11,100. So you can do internet marketing. Okay, so check back here at 10 o'clock Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday, and go to workwithjacklater.com. Download my 8-step checklist to get 30 to 50 leads per day, and make it a great day. I hope you enjoyed this story, and we'll talk again on Thursday at 10 o'clock. See you later. Bye.